welcome back to Cash Flow Confidence. I'm Shelby Ashley, and I help business owners feel more confident about their cash flow. Let's talk about how you can utilize your numbers without having to drown in spreadsheets, because as it turns out, not everybody loves spreadsheets quite like I do. And so today we're going to talk about if you've ever looked at your numbers and thought, I don't even know where to start, or I'm not a spreadsheet person, or please don't make me even open QuickBooks again, then this episode is for you. Because truthfully, you don't need to become a numbers expert in order to be confident with your finances. You just need the right numbers in front of you in a way that makes sense to you. And so today I'm going to show you how to stop being so overwhelmed by your numbers, stop overanalyzing your numbers, and instead use just a super simple one-page kind of dashboard that actually helps you make smart decisions without having to just drown in all this data. And so we want to make your numbers work for you instead of intimidating you. So why is it that most business owners avoid their numbers? It's not because they're lazy, it's just because nobody has ever taught them how to actually use their numbers. And instead, they've probably been given like a 37-tab spreadsheet from their accountant or their financial advisor, and they're expected to understand all that. Or maybe they've been shown a profit and loss or a balance sheet and expected to know exactly what that means for their business. Or maybe they've seen like some overwhelming software that shows them everything except what it is they need. And so what most people end up doing is avoiding it altogether until there's a problem, or they make decisions out of fear or panic, which is kind of what I touched on last week, and then they just hope that it works out. And so when you actually know what you need to look at, even if it's just a small handful of metrics, then you can start making decisions from, a place of peace and confidence, and not from a place of, I need to do something and this feels right now in this moment. So like I said, you don't need enormous fancy spreadsheet in order to understand the health of your business. You just need to know a few key numbers that you have today. The first of those is your cash balance. So what is actually in your bank right now? I'm not talking about what's pending or like a client said they're going to pay you Friday, like what's actually in there right there in this moment. The next one is, what is your monthly revenue? And so what actually came in this month? And I'm talking about cash-wise. I'm not talking about what you invoiced, because invoices don't equal cash, right? What did you actually receive in revenue? The next one is, what are your monthly expenses? And so what went out? So this helps you see your burn rate, or in other words, like how quickly you're going through your cash. You really need to know your monthly expenses. It's so easy to get, things layering on top of each other and subscriptions just getting out of hand, and you really don't even know what your monthly expenses are. You really need to know what those are. That way you can kind of track how quickly you're burning through your cash. The next one is your profit margin. So that's your true profitability. It's your revenue minus your expenses. And then if you want it as a percentage, divide that number by your revenue. This tells you how efficient your business is, because it doesn't matter what you're making if you're not keeping any of it, right? If you made $1 million in revenue and you only kept like 1,000 of it, that's pretty crappy. But if you made $10,000 in revenue and you kept $1,000 of it, then that's a pretty good profit margin. The next one is accounts receivable. So this is what you have invoiced that has not been paid yet. So you've earned the money, you've done the work, you've invoiced, but you've not received the cash. And so you really need to keep an eye on this. This can get out of hand really fast, because this is going to make you feel like you have a lot of revenue and a lot of profitability. But if you don't have the cash that's coming in, then it really doesn't matter. All it is now you got to pay more in taxes because your profits are higher, but you don't have the cash that came in. Now, I track a lot more than just these with my clients, but if you're doing this on your own, just track that's all you need to track in order to really understand the health of your business. You don't need, a huge spreadsheet or financial model. And if you're feeling fancy or you want to dig a little bit deeper, then that's when you can start looking at your customer retention rate. So how many of your customers are you keeping month after month? Or what your revenue per offer is, because it's not enough to just know your total revenue. You really want to know what your revenue per each of your offers are if you sell multiple offers or products. And then your payroll percentage of total expenses is good to know. I would say only look at this if you feel like it's going to help you and be a tool for you and not something that's going to overwhelm you, because the thing about payroll is it's not just the wage that's the expense. It's the wage plus all of the health benefits, retirement benefits, payroll taxes expense. And so a lot of times when business owners look at their total payroll expense, it's a lot higher than what they anticipated. And so just keep that in mind if that's something you're going to start tracking. It doesn't hurt to track, but just know it's more than just that wage amount. So I mentioned earlier about building out kind of a dashboard for yourself in a way that's not going to make you lose your mind. So how do you do this? You don't need some fancy software. You just need a blank Google Sheet or Excel file. And what you want to do is just make 5 columns, one for cash, revenue, expenses, profit margin, and accounts receivable. And then at the top of each column, maybe label what month you're looking at. And then I suggest you update it once a week or once a month, whichever works for you. You don't need to track every single penny. You just need to keep your eye on patterns that are happening. Think of it like it's your car's dashboard. You're not reading your entire engine manual while you're driving. You're just glancing at the gas tank, maybe like the speed, hopefully the speed, and like the check engine light. Same with your business. You don't need every single thing right in front of you all the time. That would not be helpful. It would be extremely distracting. This is just, those 5 things that you need in order to know the health of your business. Because when you stay connected to your numbers, even just for 10 minutes a week, you stop making those decisions based out of fear because you actually know what's going on. You catch problems before they become crises. So if you see, your accounts receivable balance is growing and growing, that tells you, okay, I need to track down payment on these invoices. Or you see your monthly expenses growing and you haven't bought anything new. Okay, maybe some prices have been raised on me without me knowing. You start to see more opportunities very clearly and you feel more confident in saying yes or no to things because you've got these numbers here backing you up. So start doing this. It's a very, very empowering habit to build. And when you go from, I hope I'm okay, to I know I'm okay, you show up differently in every other part of your business because you're a lot more confident and you're just a lot more at peace with what's going on. And so for this week, I want you to start setting this up. Like I said, pick five numbers. That's your total cash right now, your revenue, expenses, your profit margin, and your accounts receivable. And then just, a column for each and just check it once a month, once a week, whatever, to review it. And that's it. As always, if you need my help with this, please reach out to me. But if not, then good luck. You've got this. And I'll see you guys next week.